Now this colony has been strong, was strong last year. They had lots of food left over. As I mentioned earlier, I borrowed some food from them and distributed it to the other two colonies, which is something that beekeepers oftentimes have to do, especially in the wintertime when the bees have run out of food. The one thing just to pay attention to when doing that is that there's no bees on those frames. You don't want to put foreign bees into another colony. That'll just create some chaos, and the bees will end up hurting each other. So we don't want that. Yeah. So let me go ahead and open up. Same thing. I'm just gonna do the same thing as last time. I'm gonna take a frame from the outside of the box. This one is very light, so they've pretty much cleaned that frame out entirely. Let me move ahead here a little bit quicker. Yeah, see, look how much food they have. All that on top, that's all capped up honey. They're good to go. I mean, they are good to go. At this colony, I did not have to give them any syrup at the end of the summer last year. They were so productive in their nectar foraging that they were able to produce enough honey for themselves, and I didn't take a whole lot of honey from them. So at the bottom of the frame, there's some pollen. You can see some of that pollen down there at the bottom of the frame. So let's see here. There's a tiny little bit of capped brood on this frame. A lot of open brood, that means a lot of larvae. I don't see the queen here. Also not a big deal. I'll see if I can find her on the next frames. Do we see any eggs? I don't see any eggs in that frame. That's not a problem. The sound of a hive, of a colony, will also indicate the presence of a queen. If the queen is not there, then the colony will be very loud. They'll be buzzing quite a bit. They'll be in general nervous because they're trying to get through without a queen, and so you can oftentimes tell just by the behavior of the bees if the queen is present or not without actually seeing her. Again, lots of brood capped. Here's more brood capped, I should say. These bees are extremely calm. They're very, very calm. And it's really difficult to see eggs. I think I see a couple in there. Yep, there's definitely eggs down there at the bottom. Okay. But notice how the bees are very calm. They're just hanging out on the frame. They don't really seem to have a worry in the world. They're just doing their business. That's very encouraging. Very encouraging. Let's just take a look. I want to see how far spread out the brood nest is. There's also some more brood on this side. Not as much as the last frame. At least as far as closed brood is concerned. Here's a lot of open brood, a lot of larvae. Lots of pollen on this side, and some eggs. Those I could see right away. Have not seen the queen. I've not seen the queen, but she might be walking around on one of the edge frames. And when I say edge frames, I don't mean the edge as far as all the way to the sides of the boxes, but the edge of the brood nest. Oops. Here's nothing. There's except for food. And on this side as well, it's just food. There are no brood cells here. And also, okay, I didn't see the queen. All right. No big deal. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and close up. I think I'm going to move the brood nest over one frame to the middle. It's always good to get a nice centered brood nest at this time of the year. For some reason, it just seems to help the bees develop quicker. If the brood nest is packed to the one side and they have their food all the way on the other side, then it tends to slow things down a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out one of these frames that was a food frame that had plenty of food on it before and is now basically bone dry. There's not a whole lot left on there. And just going to place it up here on the windowsill and move everything back to where it was. Now this colony in the middle of the summer was quite busy, and they even became kind of defensive towards the end of the summer. They started to become a little bit more aggressive when I would open the hive up. And it's just amazing to see how calm they are right now. So I think they feel as if everything is okay. So I feel as if everything is okay. Looking pretty good. So let me see here. Make sure everything's kind of lined up okay. I'll go ahead and place the covers back on. And you know what? I'll leave that off for just a moment. Take off my gloves here, and then I can kind of give you an idea of how things are set up here. Don't need my veil anymore. So, all right. So this is how I got it set up basically in here. I have one colony here. You can see the plastic covering. This is something that's really great because it allows me to open the cover without actually disturbing the bees, and I can look inside and try to get an idea of what they're doing, or just to look and see if everything's okay. Then along here, I have this little bench that we built a few years ago. Like I said, it's room for 6 colonies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In these two boxes, these 2 colonies, there are bees. These are empty. These 3 are empty here, and then the one on the end, which was the first colony that I inspected today, also contains bees. That's the view outside. Directly next to the bee house is a plum tree and lots of apple trees, and the bees have a lot to choose from. So this is really a good place for them. So that's it for today. That was basically my spring inspection, although I have taken a look at the bees a couple weeks ago and last week as well, just to prepare them for the cold weather that was supposed to come in. This week is going to be cold once again, a little bit rainy, a little bit snowy. Up here, this is a little bit higher elevation, so it could be a little bit more snow. So hopefully the bees will be okay. They'll get through next week, and then come April, when the cherry blossoms start to come out, then we'll really be rocking and rolling. All right. So if you like this video, please leave a comment. If you'd like to see more, please leave a comment. If there's anything else especially you'd like to know about the bees or about an apiary, how it runs, please let me know. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.